Hello traders, welcome to today's video, Monday the 13th of May 2024. I hope you had a great weekend. This is your Bitcoin and crypto update to start the week. We're actually seeing a bit of a move up here on Bitcoin right now, so we'll see what happens with that. It was looking okay last night, and I'll go into a bit more detail on that in a minute. But just starting off on the weekly here, because of course we have got a new week that has opened. Last week being relatively uneventful. Okay, we had that big reversal at the beginning of the month, and last week just being one of those consolidation weeks, choppy crab market. Before, now we're seeing once again weekly has opened. We've put in a low for the week, and we're getting a decent move up as we speak. So nothing too much to talk about. It was holding the value area low of this whole range. So you had that big move up that came back above the POC and just chopping around there, but holding the value area low, holding the monthly open, which was important. And so far today, seeing this move up from here. Going down onto the daily time frame. Okay, this makes it all a bit clearer. Remember, we had the bounce from the yearly VWAP, which after price came and took out the lows. Really good reaction, consolidation, holding value area low, holding monthly open, a 50% retrace of this move. And so far, once again, this morning, seeing a decent bounce here. And on the 4 hour, the same situation, right? We've not had any closes below that monthly open. You have your high, low to your high, this basically being exactly the midpoint of this. And yeah, so far seeing a decent move up. Now, if we're looking on the 4 hour, there is a 4 hour AB to be watching as we come up to 63k. And I think a move back up towards this area was always likely. Even if this is going to continue lower, you would at the very least, because this was one of those news related dumps, you'd at the very least expect this to be recovered before dropping back into a range again. So we'll see how this goes, but the move up so far looking pretty good. If we go on to the slightly lower time frame charts and we zoom in somewhat, then this is essentially what we had. So on Friday there was the sweep of the previous day highs, which gave a short position. I took that short position, I closed it too early, and then we had consumer sentiment, which was incredibly bearish on Friday, which the market did not react well to, which came down and took out the previous day lows. So you had the previous day highs swept, and then you came and swept the previous day lows. But once again, it continued to hold that monthly open really quite well. Over the weekend, you had the fake Sunday pump, which took us above the Friday highs. That retraced, took liquidity below. I actually did a live stream yesterday and we watched this move as it happened. So as soon as we had that deviation from the highs, set us up for a short opportunity, and then holding the POC of the range here. So we were always looking for that move back down into the POC to correct some of this move up that we'd had on the Sunday. And yeah, that has subsequently held and seeing a decent move up. Now, if we have a look on the TPO here, because this makes it quite clear, if this will load, then you can see we had this double distribution on Friday where we have our time point of control up here, our volume point of control down at the lows. Now you had clear acceptance within this value. So within the distribution that we had at the bottom on that Friday afternoon, Friday evening, there's clear acceptance within that, trading through that at the weekend, and now looking to push up and see if it can test back into this POC and basically, yeah, the daily level that we have up there around 63. So I am expecting this move to get a little bit further. We've filled the single prints at this stage. So this was the big drop down that we had. This has precisely filled the single prints. So there we go. We're exactly there. And if we go back onto a candlestick chart and we look at our lows that were made on Friday before the single prints were made, then yeah, we're more or less there at this stage. So after having seen that big drop down, recovered the majority of the move, but I still would like to see a move into that point of control that we have up here at 63,000 and potentially the daily level before this starts to once again fill out a little bit more space. So kind of today expecting maybe one more push higher, then we drop back down, a range around here. If we are to start seeing closes back above those Friday highs, then that would be quite bullish. That's not the weekly open anymore. That is just a weekly level. And that can take us back into those previous week opens. And then, of course, what we are looking at is imbalance above. So you have your range points of control here, 64. So we're looking for a move up to 63, then some consolidation. If it can claim that 64K zone, then it becomes quite likely that we have seen enough of this as a correction, and we're going to be looking for those higher prices up towards 69,000. In terms of the rest of the market, if we're looking at the order flow here, we can see some nice short positions being liquidated. We're doing this on negative funding, so across the weekend there was still negative funding, which did give a bullish bias. There is negative funding pretty much everywhere, and if you're looking on Bybit, most coins are seeing negative funding right now, which is good. We were seeing that the spot bid was holding up really well over the weekend, so despite, here we go, so you can see the blue line being spot. As we had this consolidation, perps were selling. There was a divergence here between what spot was doing and what perps were doing, but price was making a higher high. It was holding within this range. It was holding the point of control of this range, but we had the spot bid was holding up well, is leading the move up this morning, and now perps starting to play catch up here. So yeah, a decent little bit of divergence there overnight, yesterday evening and into this morning, which we did speak about on the stream yesterday. That, of course, does mean that we still have the premium here on spot, so it does mean that high time frames we're still bullish and still looking for higher. And it's just a case of whether this can start to squeeze out those short positions. We can see open interest starting to drop. What you'd like to see now that open interest has fallen with the move and we've had like a bit of a short squeeze here, you'd like to see that OI just start to increase with new long positions opening, showing that there's some strength within this move. But overall, it's still very early in the move. I mean, it's literally just popped about like 20 minutes ago or something. So still time on this. Now, I don't really think there's too much more to update on. So that is everything. Yeah, let's just see how this can go, whether we're going to get a bit more sideways chop or whether the move from last week was sufficient and we're now seeing this move up to 69. I am still anticipating this. Like I wasn't too happy with how deep this went, but when you actually look at things and think, okay, yeah, your monthly opens there, that's fair enough. It was still only a 50% retrace. It still didn't give the best opportunity for longs to enter, who would have been looking for deeper. If we'd have come down to 59, I would have been bearish. And what I was always saying is we don't want to see that 60K to 59K zone. And we just about missed it. So as long as we are continuing to hold here, I see no reason why we can't get that move up to 69K throughout the rest of the week. Reminder, there is PPI, CPI this week. So inflation is likely to come in quite hot. That could cause some dumpiness. So we'll see how that goes. But then again, I think if we are going to see some relief, maybe once that's passed. So Tuesday, Wednesday, we've got big news. Maybe once that's passed, we see that relief from the market afterwards. So if I was to have a guess here, I think a little bit more chop for the next couple of days. And then maybe towards the end of the week, we finally get that relief. Sort of Wednesday reversal, Thursday, Friday, looking fairly bullish. But we'll play it by ear, of course, level to level. And on that note, I will wrap this video up. Have a great day, and I'll see you again soon. Cheers. Bye-bye.